The final episode of Quantum Leap aired 3 years ago, but it lives on in reruns and the fans keep coming back. Actors Scott Bakula and Dean Stockwell faced the fans over the weekend at the 4th Quantum Leap convention. Quantum Leap fans are called Leapers, and they like nothing more than to buy souvenirs and, of course, talk to their heroes.
I'm not always sure that I can be here, but when I can, I like to be here. There are a lot of friendly faces that I like to get back and see, and it's a good chance for me to get to see Dean, because I never get to see him otherwise.
I was very disappointed when the network took it off the air. I think they made a mistake. But this continuing support is very heartwarming and makes me feel good, and it gives me a solid pride in the show. I think it was a good show.
Even though there are no plans to revive the show, the goal of Leapers everywhere is to see Quantum leap to the big screen.
That's better. Calling all Sci-Fi Buzz fans, we're taking the leap to LeapCon 95. Quantum Leap may have been canceled, but the fans won't let it die. It's been nearly 2 years since the time travel series Quantum Leap was abruptly canceled by NBC. And though the show may be gone, it's anything but forgotten.
We originally discovered all this fandom when we got on a computer service and discovered the Quantum Leap topics and all this wonderful world of Quantum Leap.
A select group of Quantum Leap fans from around the world leaped to Los Angeles recently for the 4th convention devoted to keeping the memory of the series alive. It appears Star Trek isn't the only worldwide sci-fi phenomenon to emerge from American TV.
When people say that there was a golden age of television and that's long past and you don't see any of it, we say, well, a couple years ago, it was Quantum Leap.
It's a kind of series that you can watch over and over, and it never gets old.
Though Quantum Leap suffered an untimely death in the eyes of fans, commonly called Leapers, the show seems to be more popular than ever. That's because reruns of the series air daily on this very channel, as well as on outlets all over the planet. The show has become so revered overseas, a contingent from France flew in to lay the groundwork for a con on the continent.
We are planning to do one next year, and we're trying to get Scott to come and other guests, and that would really be terrific if we could have one.
Scott, of course, is Scott Bakula, the amiable actor who portrayed Sam Beckett, a brilliant physicist who leaped into everybody from Elvis Presley to Lee Harvey Oswald.
When you're shooting a series, you don't get to meet anybody, so you're working all the time. So it was always kind of a shock to get out into the world and know that people were watching the show actually, and not just the Nielsen numbers. So it's great to meet the fans. Fans have always been great.
Hello, everyone.
While those associated with Quantum Leap have moved on to other projects, many remain loyal to the legions of viewers who've been touched by the show.
The cast and the crew and all the people involved have been really gracious with the fans. They sort of make us feel like we're family rather than, you know, looking in from the outside.
When asked what makes the show so special, some credit the
Deep emotional impact,
while others say it's
Seeing that one person can really make a difference.
But the most unanimous response is more along these lines.
I like both actors a lot. They're really terrific at what they do, and they're awfully cute.
$250 going what? Going twice? All right.
So beloved are Scott Bakula and co-star Dean Stockwell that fans shelled out big bucks for signed pictures, posters, and anything else they could get their hands on at the con's charity auction.
I bought the towel that Scott wore when he was on Murphy Brown.
Uh-huh. And the winning bid, ma'am?
$3,500.
Yikes! With that kind of ardent devotion, it's no wonder Bakula and others see a leap to the big screen as a definite possibility.
I think events like this will help it go to the big screen. I see no reason for it not to go to the big screen. We could do a tremendous movie. I think the market is there for it, not only in this country but around the world now, and I think they would be foolish not to do it. So, you know, cross your fingers.
To stand here and ask you to join me in welcoming to the stage Mr. Scott Bakula.
front of this scrim, I think. And, right, I was sitting on a little thing on the ledge there and kissing madly. Because somebody had to do it. I didn't write it. Okay. Hello, everyone. It's really great that you all are here. I hear the weekend's been going wonderfully. Yes? I'm sorry, I just found out that Don wasn't able to make it. He's shooting his new series. I guess you know all these things. You always know more than I do anyway. Someday I should come and sit and ask myself questions. And you all have to get up and answer them for me. So it'll probably be easier. And Dean's on his way. Yeah. So hang in there. I know, if we talk fast, we can all leave before he gets here. No, this is great that we have this thing because I never get to see him otherwise, so I'm just as excited as you all are to see him. He's changed a lot. He's a lot taller. And he's smoking longer cigars. I think that's what makes him seem taller. He smokes them like this. Okay, now I'm talking. I'm rattling on here. So I just want to say hello, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm really happy to be here. I've had this production company with a friend of mine, Tom Spiroff, for about 3.5 years now. And our idea for the production company is to create new works in lots of different mediums. Some that I'll be in, some that I'll just produce. And we've had a good stroke of luck in our first year really at Warner Brothers. They've been very supportive there. I'm getting ready to shoot the pilot for a new TV series. So we all have to start getting those letters ready for CBS. We've written them before though, I'm pretty sure. So I'm really excited about it. One of my really main goals is to try and be in a situation where I can put other people to work. And there are a lot of good people. You know, when I was doing Quantum, I got so much great response, and I would get scripts from people, and I would get ideas from people, and I never was able to do anything about them. So the idea is to take some of those things that I can't do, because I can't do everything, and push them on to other people, and other people have a shot at them. So that's a really long answer, but thank you very much for asking, and we're hoping for good things here. Thank you.
Scott, you're right here. Hi, Scott. I saw you last year. I was the one that gave you the shark tooth, and I thank you very much for all that. But I wanted to ask you about your new series. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And what about the movie?
The movie of Quantum Leap?
Quantum Leap movie.
Well, the movie of Quantum Leap. Well, you know, I'd love to tell you that Universal is calling us and begging us to do it. They're not. But I feel that events like this, the success that the show is continuing to have around the world. I literally bumped into a guy at a coffee shop 2 weeks ago, and he said, I saw you on the show last night. First time he'd ever seen the show. He must have been 26 years old. He said, that's a cool show. I said, yeah, get in line. So people are still finding the show, and I think that, I really believe that in the next couple of years that Universal will realize that they have a really great possibility for a wonderful franchise of movies, plural, and we'll make that happen. It certainly helps to have weekends like this, and that are happening not just here, that happen in other parts of the United States and around the world. That's encouraging. It's helpful to them, and you know, we're available. They know it. We like to do it, and it's just a question of. They've had a lot of shakeups over there too, so that's that. The new series, I won't tell you a whole lot about it, except that I will be playing a Los Angeles detective. We're going to look at Los Angeles, kind of the underside of Los Angeles, the psyche of these guys that are out there doing what I consider to be one of the toughest jobs anywhere. It's a show that is written by
Rick Natkin and Dave Fuller, the guys who wrote Necessary Roughness with me. They're real good guys, and we created a really great group of characters. And it's going to be tougher than Quantum Leap. It's going to be a little darker. The character that I will be playing has a lot of psychological problems that he's been forced to deal with in the last couple of years. So I'm very excited about it. It's a big it's a challenge for me. It's a whole nother trip producing, and I've got some great people working with me on that, and we'll see what we can do. But I think we're gonna come up with a really great series, and I certainly hope you all like it. So thanks for asking. Well, I don't really know what that means. I mean,
you're a much better actor than they are.
Carry it for me. How y'all doing? Thank you for being here. I apologize for being a little bit late. I just hit some traffic. And you've been putting up with this guy, huh? Is he being a nice guy? Good boy.
he's just getting back at me because I'm always late. So I answered all the questions for Dean. So anyway,
I don't want to know what he said.
No, I was in the middle of saying, no, would I ever want to be a superstar like him? No, I don't think it's something you set out to do. Usually what happens is that the work that you're in, or the fans make you that, or whatever that is, and it's certainly not a goal of mine. I'm still trying to just do good work and keep learning, so that's... And, you know, every once in a while I get lucky to work with somebody good like him.
How could you be keeping learning when I taught you everything?
I really love the show, obviously, because I'm here, and I have a question about the final episode, and forgive me if it's been asked and answered. There's a scene where you come out of the bar, and there's two boys. Who are the two boys supposed to represent? Because you look like they mean something to you.
Did you understand anything about the last episode?
I didn't understand who the two boys were. No, I do.
But you understood everything else?
Everything else. But I was sworn to secrecy by Don Belisari. I can't talk unless I get a lifetime membership to Riviera Country Club.
I think there was some significance about them, and I really can't remember at this point in time who they were. I know who they really were. That's who the kids were. But were you asking about did they have a special significance to Don? Well, those were two kids who'd been in The Tale of Two Sweeties. Remember that? Those were the two kids. And like a lot of things that happened in that last episode, I was having these like psychedelic moments with all kinds of weird flashbacks. So that's what they were there for. Did they have a reason to be there for Don? I don't know.
Chimps and all the other animals that you worked with. And Dean, what was your first reaction when you first saw Scott in the dress?
I get to talk about the chimp first, huh?
I was disgusted.
No, I thought...
That was after you followed me around for 20 minutes.
He was very cute. He didn't walk very well on the heels, though. I don't know if you noticed, but he didn't walk very well on those high heels. He practiced for weeks. That's all he ever did was walk around on high heels. You still do that, Scott?
How long are you going to keep this up? I love working with the animals. The animals were great. The chimps were my favorites, really, to work with. Animal training for, are you talking about animal training for the industry, for movies and things? It's real tough. I mean, some of the guys were great, some of the guys were not great. And it's what the animals are forced to do sometimes is unpleasant. We were very careful, as careful as we could be, to make sure that they were well taken care of. The Humane Society is there all the time. They're very watchful. So there were only a couple of times that it got a little strange. But I love the chimps. Hugh Baird had some great lions and things that we used. Very friendly lions. And so it was great. I mean, we worked, one of the, you remember the lion, and what was it? Who wrote the episode? No, but that she had raised that lion from a baby, and in the scene where the lion was chasing her across the middle of Disney Ranch, you remember that scene? And knocked her down, and we end up on the bridge. He got a little carried away and knocked her down and totally freaked her out and bruised her very badly. And she'd spent her whole life with this animal. And he then turned and moved toward me in a very, very convincing manner. Fortunately, there were people stationed behind the trees, and they told me to freeze. And I fortunately listened for once. And
he couldn't have run in those high heels anymore.
Going so well, wasn't it? About 5 minutes ago.
I have a question for Dean. Scott got to wear dresses, but you got to wear some awfully nice clothes too. And I was wondering what you really thought of Al's wardrobe.
Well, it was partly Don's idea, doing the clothes that way, and I thought...
Blame it on the guy who's not here.
Yeah, it was his fault, but I think it was a good idea. I think it lent a nice, colorful touch to the show. People ask me that I take the wardrobe with me and wear it, but I have to say I don't wear it very much.
There's a little hole in this collar right here.
Keep your hands on. Okay, don't bend the shirt.
Hi. Presuming that there is a movie, I was wondering what you guys think it would be really important for, what issues it would be important for the movie to raise, and if there's anything you really wouldn't want to see in it.
If there was a movie?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's get the movie first. Then we'll say we don't want this, we don't want that. I wouldn't do it. I like to avoid doing projects with a lot of violence, and I try anyway. I think if what's the matter with you?
Do you never go see your movies?
No, I don't go see my movies. They're too violent. If an actor turned down everything that was distasteful, he wouldn't be able to work. Because all the projects seem to either start with a murder or end with a death. And I'd love to do just G movies. I really would.
But then, of course, you're not 9 anymore.
That's right. I'm a teenager.
That's what's true about Dean. In his head, he's a teenager.
Little kid.
I have one question, though, about your wife. I understand you're very happy.
That's right. Whose wife are you talking about?
Your wife.
My wife.
How does she feel about your love scenes? I mean, like in Passion to Kill and things like that. How does she handle that?
It's not her favorite thing. I gotta be honest. It's not her favorite thing. It's awkward for everybody doing those things. For me and for people to watch it and to watch it in the movie theater with other people. Of course, I've done a lot of love scenes, and then he's had one.
Hello? I have two questions. One, I was wondering if you were going to allow your children to see the newest movie. And second of all, I'm studying ASL, the American Sign Language, so of course the particular episode, Private Dancer, I was wondering how it differed on the set when you were using sign language, because I didn't notice you were using real sign language.
How what?
How the set differed having an interpreter. So I heard that the woman that you were working with really is hard of hearing.
Yeah. It was great. It was really lovely having her around for the 8 or 9 days that she was there. She was a beautiful woman and great to be there. Her interpreter was lovely, and it just brought a different kind of flavor to the show. I mean, a lot of times we did shows that had different elements. You know, for instance, the first time when we did La Mancha for the first time, that I can remember crew members walking around humming, you know, The Impossible Dream. I mean, it seemed odd, but everybody was in a different mood. And when she was there, it just brought a wonderful kind of flavor to it. When we did the episode with the blind pianist, having him around, he played the piano all day during lunch, you know, and people would sit around and listen to him play. I mean, it was really great. And that was really one of the wonderful things about the show is we were able to bring in people that added a lot to each day and kept us from having to listen to Dean's stories.
I'm not crying, I'm falling asleep. Somebody turned this out. Jeez, yeah.
Hello, we've come all the way from the United Kingdom. We're very, very excited to be here.
Where in the UK?
I'm from Wales, and my friend Jenny is from Leicester.
I was the one who asked about Neil Young in Pasadena last year to June.
Oh,
and we would love both of you desperately because there's so many fans out there in England.
Oh, that's fabulous.
I'd like to ask Dean a question. I watched Stewie River recently on TV, and we saw you playing the piano. Can you really play the piano?
I played a little of one of those pieces, yeah. And the others, they would come up off my hands when it started getting difficult, and then I just stayed there. He plays the piano.
He's actually very musical. He can pick up almost anything and play it. And he's never been able to take a compliment, ever.
Dear Galea, Galea, the stare, the look, the origin.
Man. That was a good ghost face, yeah.
You made fun of a haunt. A couple questions. I was watching Captain Planet the other day, the cartoon, not to change the subject or anything, but I saw your name on the credits. And I was wondering, one, what character do you do the voice for? And two, is it because of the theme of the cartoon that made you want to do it?
The second question, the answer is yes. And the character was Duke Nukem. I did I think it was the first 2 seasons of it, and then I don't do it. I don't know who's doing Duke Nukem now.
Did you have your own production company? Why don't you just
That's a lovely idea. The reality is that none of us, including Don, own Quantum Leap. Universal Studios does. So I don't know how long they own it. If they own it, do they own it forever?
Perpetuity. Who keeps turning this off? Haven't you heard me? I've been speaking loudly, fine, but...
So we can't do anything to it until,
Okay, Scott, Dean in the back of the room.
Yes.
Over here, to your other side.
Hi, I'm big fans of both of you guys, and I'd just like to say that I really appreciate the fact that your show dealt with a lot of serious issues, along with a lot of the lighter issues, especially when you dress as a woman. I was wondering if either one of you guys learned anything special from any of the episodes, and if so, which. And I'd just like to say that I really appreciate the work that you guys put into all of your movies and TV shows, and keep up with it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I learned that it just wouldn't pay off for me to try to walk in high heels. For me. Well, I spent a lot of the time teaching during Quantum Leap, so I didn't have much time to learn stuff. He was learning all the time. He was always on the next stage.
That's for high ground.
When we weren't working on this stage, he was on the next stage, practicing how to put on his diaper, practicing swinging on the high trapeze, like that, falling in, and he would giggle. He was always practicing because there was something new for him to do every show, but for me it wasn't the same thing. I didn't have to practice with the little zig. I just had to keep it in mind.
Practice with them.
We've done it perfectly.
I know that happened. What happened? He practiced with the little Ziggy for hours. No, the best thing that I learned was I learned from this gentleman right here. Come over here, brother. This guy. This is what it's about. Right here. This is what life's about.
Secretary. At the end, Sam wanted to get you with his boss. Okay, there was one scene where you were on the couch with this man.
In the fourth year, the questions get better.
Practice that one.
I want to know how many takes it took for him to put his hand up your dress. Because I was hysterical after I saw that. Or do that one take.
We were all hysterical the whole time. Some were weeping, some were crying. John was he was a great sport about the whole thing. It was the first time. And I said it, but like he said, he taught me everything. So. We laughed a lot that episode, actually, and it was... do I miss that one? No.
We laughed a lot every episode, but that one was like a bad joke.
Okay, I'm from Germany, and I want to ask you when you come to Germany for promotion, because there are maybe 1 million fans who see your series every Sunday morning.
Can we stay at your house?
If you want, yes.
I don't know. We need to go there sometime. We need to do a world tour. You want to do that? Yeah, we'd be like the Rolling Stones. Do a world tour. Thanks for watching, though, in Germany. Would you shut up?
Hi, Scott. Hi, Neil. I talked to Michael Watkins this morning, and he told me to ask you something about a break and a horn.
Break and a what?
wife and your car, your horn and heat?
I have to say, I thought you said a break and a whore. That sounds like something Watson would say, actually. He told you the story. Don't make me tell you.
Tell the story.
It wasn't any special occasion, was it? It was just life. We finished polluting the valley of Lancaster, and we were leaving at the end of the day, and I got in my car, and as soon as I turned on the car, the horn started going off. And it kept going off. It continued to go off. And I looked around me and I saw a van about 20 yards away shaking. And a good portion of the crew, led by Watkins, were in there that had wired my car for the horn. I thought I was going to have to drive all the way back from Lancaster, Palmdale to L.A. with my horn going off. They laughed and laughed and the van shook. And I hate this story. I got to call him now and yell at him again. They got me in a good mood that day. They were luck. I think you left early that day. I was happy.
How did you come about learning how to play the piano? Was it natural talent, or did you have to basically work your butt off?
It wasn't natural talent. That's what I mean when I was saying earlier. He like mumbled through and talked through and played the chopsticks through. I had to work at it, and I certainly never liked to practice, and neither does my daughter. But so it was an acquired thing. My dad played very seriously, and actually, just this past year started taking piano lessons again, and he's playing 2 hours a day, and which I think is really cool. Which is another great thing for all of us to remember that it's never too late to start anything. But no, I had to work at it. I loved it. I did it because I had a rock and roll band, and I was desperate to play the keyboards in the band. So I wanted to learn as quick as I could, and as fast as I could, which isn't necessarily the way to do it. But guys like this, can just kind of pick stuff up and just do it, and that's a natural talent.
Scott?
I know, I'm calling. Just give up.
Scott?
He doesn't know what he's doing.
Back here. I drive back to the St. Louis area often, and I wonder if there's any possibility of you doing the Muni.
I was this close to doing the Muni last summer, and then Clive Barker screwed it up. So, I was going to do the Music Man there last summer, and every summer there's an opportunity, depending on scheduling, for me to do it. But I'd love to, because I grew up going to shows there, and it would be kind of fun to do one. But someday. Thanks.
Oh, Scott, Dee, I got a two-part question here. And, basically, I wanted to ask Scott, Brooke Shields said that you're her best on-screen kisser. We wanted to know who yours was. And then for Dean, we wanted to know if he'd have rather, been the lead for a couple more times than just the one episode he was, and if he'd like to wear the dresses too.
Brooke said that? Why would she lie?
I don't know why she would. I think it's terrible.
I had a lot of really great on-screen kissers in the show, so I wouldn't dare single out one. But she was one of them. Your turn, dress boy.
I liked the role of Al so much I wouldn't have wanted to do leads, period. I didn't even want to do the one, but they forced me. The only thing I said, I'll only do it if I get the girl one time.
In a car, just like in the 50s.
Just like in the 50s. It's backseat and driving.
My question is to Dean. When the show first started, the pilot episode, the car, how did that all come about, that fast car you were driving?
That just came out of Mr. Belisario's head, he preferred to have, instead of just a Chevy or something, something that would catch people's eye. That's the same way with the wardrobe of the character. He has an instinct for pizzazz, so that's why he chose it. I like it.
No, you like the girl. Don't tell him you like the car.
I like the girl and the car.
Again, the Lee Harvey Oswald episode was not an easy show for me. Don was very opinionated about what went down, and I did a lot of research on that man, and it wasn't pleasant research. The notion of becoming him was not pleasant. It was unsettling. I was very lucky to have Jimmy Whitmore Jr. directing and helping me, and actually we kid a lot, but it was always great to have Dean around to keep things light, because I had a tendency sometimes to get, a little heavy with stuff. So it was, I read about it. I found a lot about things out about the man. Very few of them were pleasant. And it was a great script, a terrific show to do, and putting that rifle up to my eye and looking down at all that was connected to that was very unpleasant. But thanks for asking. I'm surprised.
Next person.
And then I look at that shirt and I'm happy.
Hi, Scott. Hello. Hello. Early on in your career, was there any particular artist or actor, excluding Dean, who you admired so much that you would have just given your eye teeth to work with them? And if so, who was it, and do you still feel that way?
Actually, one of the people that I admired, my connection really was with the theater first, because that's what I did. So some of the early musicals, which again was my bent anyway, that I really enjoyed. I love Mame. I love Angela Lansbury, and I got to work with her, and got to meet her, and that was a real treat. And I love cabaret, and I've met Liza Minnelli, and I know Joe Gray, and so those are a couple of the people that the musical theater was really what I was kind of raised on. So I then went from there to here. So that's where I was, the New York world.
Two questions. One for Scott. Are you going to let Dean go see Lord of Illusion?
No.
And for Dean, I wondered what your reaction was to Scott's spread in Playgirl.
This is the first I've heard of it. I'm shocked. Did you say Playgirl or Playboy?
That's actually not a bad idea.
Okay, we're right over here. I just want to say hi, guys. I've been to every convention, and I've had a great time at every single one. I love you both. Scott, I want to know something. At the first convention, Tommy Thompson said you came out in the bathing suit and the high heels, and you said, I don't know when, I don't know where, but I'm going to get you for this. Have you ever gotten him for that?
No. I was going to get Dean, too, for a pies in the face. I never got him either. Wait a minute. No, I wouldn't do that. But I haven't forgotten it either. No, I acted all my life, so I never thought, because I grew up in St. Louis, it wasn't exactly a place where the theater and the possibility, there wasn't like somebody on my block who was a movie star or a theatrical star or anything, so it wasn't really a reality for me. It was only that as I was doing miserably in college that I realized that maybe I should try and do something that I knew that I really enjoyed and see if I could make a living at it. So when I made that commitment to pursue that and not stop until I found out if I could do it or not, or if I would have, have a chance of even doing it, that's when it really started for me. And why do I continue? I can't do anything else. No, I continue because I really love it. I love entertaining. I love bringing a lot of different things to people, emotions, and I like telling stories, and I like having people that understand what I'm doing, which is not the critics and not the people that hire you in this town necessarily, but the people that watch us. So that's why I keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, I started so early in life that in other words, when I started, it wasn't a choice. I didn't make a choice I was going to be an actor. I wasn't even old enough to say I wanted to be a fireman. But that's what I was into, and that became my life, and I came to really appreciate it later on in life. And I keep on doing it. The fuel that I have to persevere is that I've come to love it, and I love to do that with communicating with people. Because I communicate better, I think, through acting than I do.
It's also the other thing one of the things that keeps me going is the people that you meet in the business. I mean, I love people, and you get to work with people in such an intimate way, and sometimes very quickly, you get to know people, and because of the situation where you find out a lot about them, or you have years to get to know somebody. But the thing that I always admired about Dean in terms of his work ethic was that he's had a lot of great success in his life, and he was happier to be at work every day than almost anybody there, and that was a great lesson for me, because there's a lot of people that are cynical in the business, and if it's not the best job, they're not making the best money, they're not in the best trailer or whatever, they're unhappy. But it was great for me to be working with somebody, especially at the time in my life when we first met, that was kind of inspiration. It was like, wow, he loves this. He's done it a lot, and he's had all this great success, and he's willing to share it with me, and to not teach. I didn't use the word teach. Share, and that really was a great inspiration.
Okay, I actually have a question. I'm here online live on America Online. I have a question from a school teacher in Japan. She showed the episode Jimmy to a group of her Japanese students, and they said that after seeing that episode, they would never look at the mentally challenged in the same light again. And they wanted to know how you feel about the fact that you've been able to do that kind of thing for people.
Well, to just tell them that I was as touched or more touched by the experience that I had, and I'm thrilled that they feel that way, and I'm thrilled that the show reached across that other ocean.
You see, that was one of the truly great things about us having the jobs on Quantum Leap. It was a special show, and we had an opportunity to share in this type of thing. It was really meaningful. And we look back, we did this show for 4.5 years, so what? Well, so what? It had a lot of meaning. It affected a lot of people's lives. And we feel that's great.
After having been well on Leap for so many seasons, does it seem a little familiar when you do script reading and you find some of the TV movies seem similar to some of the scripts from the episodes?
It's been very hard to find things that weren't mundane, that offered a challenge, that sparked some kind of quality. What I found actually is that we covered so much in those 4.5 years that you find little elements in the script that attract you, and you go with those, because if you're lucky, you've got a few moments like that. There are very few scripts that are overwhelmingly as exciting as a lot of the work that we did. It was very special stuff, and so it's been hard. It's definitely been hard.
We recently lost a very talented stand-up comedian, and I would like to find out, what is your favorite happy memory of Dennis Wolfberg? Can I hear him?
Well, Dennis, we hear you. Dennis was with us in such a wonderful way, and yet sporadically. You know, he popped in for that, you know, for his gushy in the pilot. We didn't even work with him, you know. I mean, and there he was, which was kind of a neat way to meet him, you know, as gushy. I knew him. His manager is a good friend of mine, so I was connected to him a little bit because of that also. And Dennis was, you know, was a lovely, lovely man. I thought he was brilliant in the show, especially the show when he replaced Dean. I thought he was just lovely in that. And not that anyone could. And I'm 100% positive that he is making people laugh right now, and probably watching, and he probably is with us right now. So we miss him, but he's moving somewhere else.
I think what Scott said suffices for me. He really was a joy. All the moments were favorite moments.
Okay, we're on your right here. Yo.
Did she say yo?
Scott, I enjoyed your work on Men and Carolyn. I really enjoyed the finale.
Me too.
I just wanted to know what was your favorite part of that special.
Carol Burnett. She is just an unbelievable woman. And she has great energy. It's all positive. And it was just a dream come true, you know. She called me on the phone and said, "You want to come do this show with me?" I mean, she's called me at my house. I was like, "Well, sure, Carol, I'll be there." The next day, there were like 24 tulips, you know, that she sent. It was Easter time last year. Happy Easter, love Carol, can't wait to meet you. And we were off. I'd go anywhere, do anything for her. She deserves all the wonderful things that have happened to her in her life, and doesn't deserve some of the other things that happened to her, but she's sailed right through it all. Another great lesson for us all.
Next question is about halfway back on your left.
I have a request for you, Scott.
Yo.
Ever since I've come to the convention, I've always wanted to hear this one thing from you. Could you say, "Oh boy"?
Why do they want you to say that?
What did you mean? What did you mean by that? You got to say it in the one episode, right? Oh boy. You said it in the one episode.
I didn't say it that way. Say it, but the kids say, "Oh."
I said it so many different ways. Which show do you want? Oh boy. You'll notice that we pay real close attention that appears every once in a while in some of the work post-quantum. You don't watch anything. Don't worry. You don't understand.
So the question is, all morning long we've been hearing about stunts and pranks pulled by the crew on you guys and on each other. What's your favorite prank that you might have pulled on them, or your favorite prank that they pulled on you?
These aren't good memories for me. Well, you know, you've heard about the pie thing. I mean, you know, I guess if I had to say what my favorite prank was, that was probably it. But my favorite prank on him was then leaving empty pie boxes around the set for a couple weeks. And he'd walk in, like you walk by a shelf and there'd be a pie box. And it was empty. And then he'd be walking around, looking around. And then he would say,
I would play at it, you know, to make me feel good. I was afraid I was going to get hit with a pie. Oh, and he would,
Then he would say, Jean-Pierre would want you to wreck this outfit. He would want you to wreck this outfit. Don't hit me with a pie.
Hi, this is a question for Scott.
You've got your own production company. Now, we've seen you direct 2 episodes of Quantum Leap, Roberto and Quantum Land. We wanted to know, 4? I'm sorry. Anyway, I wanted to know if you were going to be behind the camera more, and if you were going to start doing more directing, or if you were going to spend most of your time in front of the camera.
I really like being in front of the camera.
That's a car.
No, I like acting a lot. It was great. It was a great experience for me to direct on Quantum. If the opportunity arises and it's something that I feel that I have a better handle on than someone else, but basically, if I had my choice, I would rather be acting with a great director directing me, and that's really what it's about for me. Thank you, though. Pardon? Oh, I have so much. I mean, I have a lot to learn, period. But about directing, I have, as he would tell me constantly during the day, I have a lot of stuff to learn. No, I don't think I'm a great director. Thank you, though.
Okay, Scott, to your left. Other than the Quantum Leap movie, do you have a possibility the 2 of you work over here? Wait.
You said to our
I'm so sorry.
Since you said to our left and it was to our right, we're going to ask you about the hickey now.
Some people collect autographs, that's why
Busy weekend. She brought it up. I'm not making fun now. She said it first to me.
Is there a possibility of the 2 of you doing something together other than the movie?
I hope so. We got to do that.
I guess this is to whoever can answer it. Yeah, everybody on online or anywhere basically that knows Quantum Leap doesn't know if there's 1 T or 2 T's in Beckett, because at the end of the last episode it said Sam Beckett with 1 T never returned home, but on your driver's license I think it said 2 T's, and in all the books it has 2 T's, whatever, just, is it 1 or 2? 2. Thank you.
That's a really good catch. No wonder Don didn't show up today.
I wonder if either of you or both of you has had any opportunity to read any of the novels or any of the fanzines to see what the fans think that Sam and Al are doing or should be doing since the show ended.
Yeah, I've read a lot of stuff. We both have read stuff. We got a lot. We were shooting the show. We still get things. Yeah, we've read a lot. There are a lot of wonderful things that have been written about us. Yeah, great ideas and wonderful thoughts and comments about us, and we appreciate them very much.
I was at the auction today. What's your reaction to a towel being sold for $3,500 and for also Mr. Stockwell, both of you had little bits of paper with writing on it with your signature went for $400, $500. What do you guys think of that? I just want to know, what do you think?
I'm amazed.
Oh, the $700 poster.
An owl? An owl? Man, it's great. I'd say a good portion, if not all, of the money gotten through the auction was going to...
Well, I guess they're on your way to being superstars now.
So I think it's great, you know, that they're getting good prices on it. What else went for what? What's a bar of soap go for?
You're talking about $700 posters, $400 signatures. I'm not going to tell you how much Anchors Away went for. It's kind of embarrassing. But
$5?
Actually, no, 40, 50. But we're talking about stuff with your signature for like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Thousands.
This will be the last question, and we're coming to your right.
I'm so happy it's the last question.
We're going. Well, this is a good one. I don't know if you guys remember me. I was the
person who won the walk-on part a couple of conventions ago. And I came on the set and met both you guys, and I just wanted to thank you for being so very sweet, especially me. Thank you.
Thank you. We have one more question, because I really want more questions. We have one more question, okay? Don't hurt your neck.
Mr. Stockwell, this really isn't a question. I just wanted to...
Oh, I know what's happening now. 4 hours later, not a question.
No, it is. It is a question.
It doesn't have to be a question.
My daughter is turning 16 years old, and this is what she wanted for her birthday. I wanted to know if you could just say happy birthday to Katie, and that would thrill her.
Happy birthday, Katie.
Thank you very much.
Here? Is Katie here? Stand up, Katie.
Stand up, Katie. Happy birthday, Katie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Katie. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you all.
Renee, how was it to rub all that chest hair? Carolyn was telling me that he did an issue of Playgirl recently. I missed, so if any of you have it, it was delicious. Delicious.
Did you rub his chest hair too?
What went on behind the scenes? What were their rehearsals? Actually, you know, Scott's a very happily married man, and it made him incredibly nervous. And I had to be really forward in that scene because I'm really trying to seduce him. And poor Scott was just like tongue-tied and hammering and hum. And I was just like, I'd sort of like, you know, push the envelope a little bit farther. You know, I'm getting paid for this.
You're funny.
I think we must have played the same scene. Does anyone else have some great stories from your episode? I'm way with it. But before we did that, I'd never been introduced, and I said, look, I am so terribly sorry. It was a 1950s show, and I was wearing a dress that sort of came mid up here, and the producer came in and said, well, let's get some cleavage on this one, right? So they took me off to wardrobe and cut the dress down, and, you know, and I was showing a great deal of bosom when I came back, and I went up to Scott and I said, now wait a minute, this is our first scene together. We've never been introduced, and I have to push my bosoms up again. And just a moment, hello, my name is Marie Cheatham. How do you do?
before you answer that frivolous question, for those of us struggling with single men, what is it particularly about the way that Scott kisses?
The leads against him, that's what caught my interest.
Well, you know, it's one of those things that's a little difficult to describe. What makes Scott a good kisser? I think, certainly what I had fun with. Actually, I was so nervous to kiss me. I just had a blast with that. I was like, you know, like I said, let me at it. Because he was so shy and so nervous, but you know, when he closed his eyes, I couldn't hit anyone. So, I guess he, I don't know. He it's all in the lip action.
But I subscribe to the theory that all cats are not gray in the dark. He has soft lips. He's a good kisser.
One moment, please. I'm sorry, Anne Lockhart won't be with us this afternoon. Her children are unwell and she can't attend.
Oh, cool! Oh, wonderful. Well, come to the Victory Theater after April the 4th, and you'll see a very funny play. Oh, it's called Catch a Falling Star. Victory and Hollywood West. Yes.
I'm Renee Coleman.
I heard some back-scene story from you. And everyone else. Any funny back-scene stories you might have about your episode? Didn't have to be funny. We want stir.
Well, there's a scene where Machiko takes off her shirt and hangs it up on the clothesline, if you remember.
Yes.
And the Reverend and her mother-in-law and assorted others show up in their shop afterwards to see her topless. And I got home, and my husband and I were watching the show. And he is the pastor of a youth group. And a few of the high schoolers have come over to our house. And so Machiko hangs up the clothes and turns around, and everyone turns away from the television and looks at me. I had a stunt person. And she had green fingernails.
Another familiar face, we all know him best as Captain Galaxy, Mr. Richard Kerr.
Hi, Rosie.
Hey, Frank, how you doing?
Hey, yo. How you doing? Andrew! Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Burbank. Frightening, isn't it?
If you have questions, please raise your hand so the microphones can get to you.
Well, I have a question. How many of you are not from California?
Is there anybody here from a good part of the country, Boston? Any Bostonians or people from Massachusetts? Let's hear it. Good. Patriot fan, Red Sox fan, Celtics, 17 and a half games up. I mean, you don't have any questions? We're just going to continue.
How many kids do you
Who's sitting next to that girl with the silver hat? And Bradley, and who's in the middle?
I swear, this line keeps growing. It's not getting any shorter. Are you writing?
No writing.
But you eat it, you're bored. It gets all more black.
About 6 or 7 weeks involved, so I'll let you know. Rosie, you holding up all right, honey? I'll be over there a little bit. Nice to meet you.
Hey, John, hi. It's me. I'm back.
Jojo.
Yeah.
What do you need?
My daughter could not make it. Could you autograph this one for her? Her name is Karen, and if you could just say hi to her for me.
Hello, Karen. I'm going to sign this for you. This is for Karen too, right?
That one's for Karen, yes.
We're live here at the Quantum Leap Convention. I don't know what time is it, but it's a good time.
That's my little brother Eduardo. He's documenting everything. Well, Karen, wish you were here. We'll see you next time.
Karen! Sure. Come on back.
Sure. Hello. Thanks.
Anywhere. Wow. I'm not here to self-harm. Unfortunately, it's just my name.
That's mandatory in order to say the city you're from New York. And this is really exciting. I'm glad to see everyone here. And I'll let you meet my other colleagues.
I'm Michelle Joyner, and I worked on Quantum Leap. I think it was the second season. I'm not sure exactly. I think it was the second. Well, you would know. Probably. You're not gonna let anything slip past. This is the first season. Yeah. And I had a terrific time. I just moved out to Los Angeles at that point. It was only my second or third TV job, and it was a wonderful experience. And I was playing a nun, for those of you who saw the episode. And
Yeah.
and it's the first and only time I've ever been in a habit.
On a show like Quantum Leap, every episode was its own little individual movie.
Yeah, with him, and every time anybody said anything about height, Mike, the whole crew just yelled it out, and that came from Michael. That and paintballs. We spent more money on paintballs than we did on film.
I would hire my assistant to fill a 5-gallon paint can full of tape.
I would send him up into the permanence where Scott couldn't see him. And we would like... Actually, the first year, I had an operator, a big guy, and he was always like running out, moving Dean around. He was like real insecure about where Dean would stand. So every time he turned his back on Dean, I'd get Dean with the tape off. And I would sit like this, and he'd look at it. And then Ed would turn around and watch him. And then pretty soon Dean went, yeah. Stop it, little guy. So on the camera, I put 3 or 4 tape balls. Then Dean walked over to look at the camera, and he saw the tape balls, and he stood up, and he realized he had it. It was like a vicious, vicious war I started. But it lasted through the whole show. Everybody, at the end of the day, they had the biggest tape ball fight. I mean, everybody was throwing tape balls. But that permeated the set. There was another time when we were doing the Piano Man out in Acton, actually, and I think we were responsible for all the elephants out at the place out there for getting a cold. We smoked it in and fogged it in or whatever. The whole town had like, trucks driving them. But that night, Scott was getting kind of snotty with all of us, so I wired his horn to his brakes. And Scott was kind of like, oh, my leg tricks. Oh, yeah. So everybody starts to pretend like they're driving home, and the entire crew is hiding behind that car, thinking he's going to leave right away, but he decides to shower. An hour and a half later, he gets out of the trailer, and it was right after he hurt his ankle, so he's on the crutch. So he gets him, he starts to get in the car, and his crutch hits the brakes, and the horn hops. And he thinks there's somebody in the car. It's just the damnedest thing. We were all going to follow him home every time. You know, I recall a story too that I want to tell you about Diamond, because everything wasn't great and roses. And there was a show we did. It was a thorn. There was a show about the Klan.
Justice.
And there's a church, and they're having a meeting and whatnot. And so there's the intimidation, and they're going to blow out these windows. So we take an existing church, and they build casings around these windows to protect the church. And they're going to flash, and so the scene is Scott Diamond walks up to the church, and the windows, you know, boom, and a big flash of fire comes out, and the doors rattling, and we cut, and we go to Scott on the ground while we busy put hair back on Diamond's face. So what happens is, and it kind of happens this way with special effects. Everybody gets ready, and everybody gets really tense, and you kind of squint a little bit. And so they do action, and Diamond's walking up the steps, and the windows don't go, and I see he's past his mark, and Diamond's kind of moving funny now. Whoa. So they all cut, and everybody does a U-turn, and we relax. And one of the effects guys had a tank of gas, and so he went running to check the other one, but I think what happened is we just left the valve on. So gas was building in the church. And by the time everybody feels responsible and resets the shot, a good 10 minutes has now gone by. So pretty much here we have, I think we got enough gas to move Massachusetts. We're rolling these slate, and here comes Diamond. And there was this whoosh, and all I remember is it burned the hair. It knocked him backwards and horizontal, burned the hair right up his legs to his underwear. He caught that much heat. He was totally bald in the face, I think. And it knocked the church off the foundations.
Characters and all, sort of find out where that all came from, that irony, that sarcasm, that bitterness, but that's one of my characters. Well, I always get
cast is very nasty women. I don't know why. Not the real me.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
What was really interesting, reading for this part and doing this part, which, as you remember, I was his mother, and he brings home a Japanese war bride. And so it was interesting and timely for me to do this because my son and his wife had just had a child. And all of my children are married to people who don't have light-colored hair or light-colored eyes or light-colored skin. So it's like I had thought when my son and my daughter-in-law said that she was pregnant and they live on the other coast, it was like, oh, well, yeah, mine's not going to look like me.
I got that from All Americans before we shot. Paul called me and said, I have good news and bad news. And I said, what's the bad news?
I wasn't going to bring this up, but since all of you did, I wanted to ask, for most of you, I gather that you are non-smokers. How difficult is it to be on a set where there's a lot of smoke, especially like Dean was smoking cigars all the time, and some of you had to portray parts where you had to smoke, and being a non-smoker, how difficult was it to handle that?
Eat your Wrigley's gum. So the hardest thing for me is I quit smoking, and right after I did, I had a part where I had to smoke, so that was very much.
I quit smoking. I've been looking for the last few years for a part where I had to smoke.
The killers and rapists, they all smoke.
He was always very, very considerate of anyone who on the set. He didn't really smoke around people except in the scene and or away from people.
When the camera started rolling, but our set wasn't very smoky at all.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. How's everything?
Good.
Yes?
Fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, really.
Good?
Yes.
Good? Did you have a good time? Oh,
Yes.
thank you. Yeah?
Fantastic. Yes.
Yes, it was good?
Yes. Really. Yes.
Great, great.
Did you
Well, thanks for waiting.
Now, why do I know when you
When did you get here?
You just send us.
When did you get here? Like,
Sorry.
from how long ago? Have you been here for 2 days or 10 days? Oh, wow. Have you had a good time?
Yes.
Have you been here before?
Yes.
To California? Right. Is this your first time?
Oh,
okay. Yes. Did you have a good time? Did you like it?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Very good, very good. You're carrying the camera. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine.
Yes?
Yes.
Good, good. This is nice. Huh? Is it turquoise? Is it,
No.
not turquoise, turquoise.
Different.
Yeah. Did you buy that here?
No.
No.
In France.
In France? Where in France?
No.
Normandy. Normandy? French. Normandy?
Parle français.
Non, 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 pas...
What?
What do you say? Who's that? Hi, how are you?
Well, very well.
Was this a wild weekend? Was it like, were people nice and... Yeah? Yeah? Good. It's really great that you guys all came. Really great.
How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very good. Hello, Scott. How are you?
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you all. It's so nice of you to come.
We're thrilled to see you. We're all a bit nervous. And
Oh, gosh, no, don't be nervous.
it's a great pleasure to meet you.
Well, thanks. We're both, Dean and I are so happy that the show is liked over there so much. You know, we had such a great time in Paris when we were here before. Well, we were here before. In October, we were
Yes, we saw you at the press conference. Yes.
and that was great. And you know, I actually was thinking yesterday about we need to go back there.
Yeah.
Yes,
I sent
please
them
We just need to go back.
Please do.
Oh, did you?
I sent them back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's...
Yeah. Sylvie.
You've got to come back.
Yeah.
We're trying to put up a convention.
Oh, yeah?
If ever we know when you're coming around, we'll try and do it at the
Yeah, if we ever
same time.
we could you could throw one together even if you had to at the last minute. Yes, we could.
Your own room.
Hi. Hi, Dean. You say bonsoir. Bonsoir. Je m'appelle Dean. Come on, come on.
I want to hear this lovely voice. Wait, just calm down. Hi, how are you? Mark, hi.
Hello, Gina and Lucy. I'm very glad to meet you.
Pleasure, my pleasure.
William,
How are you?
good to meet you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, in Lord.
Yeah, we got those pictures.
Did you just happen to be? Do you anybody speak? You speak English? Did you just happen to be here?
No, we
In this
came
country?
to, we
You came to the convention?
We told Dean how popular the show was in France.
Oh, yes.
We were there in October with Joy.
But they stopped showing it about, I think, a month ago, and we've been receiving so many letters asking MCs to put it back on that the people can't get enough of it. They've shown it twice.
Call
Really, yeah, we're doing it, calling and writing.
Sylvie, call
I think they're going to put it again on September. They know they're on to something really good.
Well, how many years has it been on?
They've been showing it for a year and a half.
Oh, well, I'm sure there's more
they
episodes.
showed all 97 episodes. They show it every day.
Yeah.
So they showed all 97 episodes. So they heck of
Daily, which was really good.
Wow. Twice. They showed all 4.5
And
years.
they finally understood what you were saying.
Oh, no, they didn't.
I met the guy who did. I don't think I met. Did we meet the guy who did Dean's voice?
No.
No, we didn't. I met the guy who did my voice. I think his name was Jean. Guy Chapelier.
Guy Chapelier. Guy, his name is Guy.
Guy Chapelier.
Gil. I said Guy.
He, yeah. Very nice guy.
Yeah, is that right?
Very, very nice guy.
Very nice.
Very nice guy. He is a very nice guy.
While you have
I said that she often talk to you on the phone or anything like that.
I was just wondering where the name sounds very familiar.
It's one of our
Dean, tell her who?
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. All right. All the flashing. Said he's sweating from it.